like your gold and silver just dropped more than 5% yesterday, while your Middle East is on fire, literally, right? So now why is the world's biggest safe haven asset falling during a war? Now this is what actually happened. First, we have oil news exploding higher because after the attack on the Gulf energy infrastructure, we actually saw Brent prices, which is your crude oil, your WTI, basically oil prices per barrel, go up close to $120 per barrel. And now global prices are actually jumping as much as 35%. People are even expecting prices of your crude to go up to $130 per barrel next week. As long as the Strait of Hormuz is still being closed up, oil prices have chances of going higher. Now, of course, this will then instantly just trigger your inflationary fears because when your oil spike, market assume central banks will want to keep your interest rates higher for longer. However, something did change literally 10 minutes ago because your Federal Reserve Federal Governor Christopher Waller, literally right here, just said that he is ready to cut interest rates until oil prices raised inflation risk. However, let's be honest, this guy hold one vote out of the 19 vote in your FOMC. So let's talk about FOMC. So the FOMC basically held rates at 3.5% to 3.75%, which basically your market are now just betting that rates might just be pushed too far into the future. Higher rates effectively just means that you have higher bond yields. So when your yield rises, what actually happens is that gold prices basically just look not as attractive. Dollar is where your money is at. Now, if you actually properly look at it, when you see gold prices go down, silver prices go down, Bitcoin going down, Ethereum going down, all these are all actually pegged to the dollar. So when you actually see all this going down, what is actually happening is also because your dollar is increasing in strength, which in relative, everything else that's pegged to the dollar would effectively go down. Which is why it just means that people are still trusting the US dollar. So this is how the order of events is gonna be looking like, okay? First off, we're gonna have your energy shocks. This is already happening for the past 3 weeks. Afterwards, we're gonna start to have inflationary fears, which was just triggered 2 days ago where the PPI came out, hotter than expected at 0.7% month over month. Afterwards, it's going to be translated into higher rates, which is also shown at the FOMC. Not in the SEP itself, however, it was shown when Jerome Powell replied to a question saying that maybe interest rates might have to go up in the future, which is why we saw everything bleed down after the FOMC meeting. Afterwards, this is where we start to see stronger dollars because when we have higher rates equate to higher bond yields, would also equate to more people wanting to stay in the dollar to yield off those good bond yield. And this is how we see gold prices go down. But here's the twist, right? Because if oil stay high long enough and starts damaging your entire global economy, that is when gold usually just come back even stronger, which gives the good narrative for people who love gold. If you like gold, just hold on to it longer because if these Straits of Hormuz continue to close down for even longer, eventually the oil is going to depeg from the petrodollar and effectively someone is probably going to say, we want to trade oil using gold. And that is going to send gold prices flying to the moon. Because the market goes from fearing inflation to fearing a financial break somewhere in the system.